Put a little bit of the rub, nigga, I gotta be safe.
Let's get to the sports talk.
Good morning, Jimmy.
Good morning. How's everybody doing today?
It's gonna be a long day for you. We love that you're starting with us.
No. I didn't take any time with my hair this morning.
It was great.
It was too early for me.
Imagine if you
My
did.
inspiration, just so you know, you're my inspiration.
I'd love to see something like that on you. That truly is your inspiration.
No. I'd love to see something like that on me.
I like it. I got a sponge for you after the show.
All right, Jimmy, if anyone knows the pressure of coaching the Dallas Cowboys, it's probably you. Of course, you dealt with that pressure pretty well, winning 2 Super Bowls. Well, Jason Garrett would love to be in that position right about now, but according to reports, he needs to win the Super Bowl this year if he wants to keep his job. Jerry Jones was asked about his level of commitment to Garrett. Here's what he had to say.
Let me tell you, no one in this country has earned the right to say, I'm a Jason Garrett man more than me. I am his man. And we want the very same thing, and that's for our players to play at their very best. And we want his staff to coach at their very best. The bottom line is we get graded. I'm in business. I don't have to win the Super Bowl in business every year. I can come in 6th and have a hell of a year. But in this business, you've got to come in first. You've got to come in first. And so fundamentally, you've asked for something that's a very narrow window to begin with. I want Jason to get it done.
If the Cowboys don't work out for him, he can easily go into motivational speaking because I'm ready to run through a wall for that guy. Jimmy, what is Jason Garrett going through right now?
Jason played for me, and I've known him for many years. We talk on occasion. Very intelligent. He's very focused on getting this team ready to play. I don't think that this outside noise or even Jerry's comments has a whole lot of effect on him. I think he's just doing his job, trying to win a ball game. He's very even keel.
Now, after 10 years, I was there with Brian Billick after he won the Super Bowl. The message just got old. Right. He's been in that locker room for 10 years. Is this message not getting old? Because it seems like he can't get this team over the hump. So what is he experiencing now, trying to kind of reinvent himself? Because either the players change or the coach has to change. But they've been a model of mediocrity. How does he get them over the hump, and how far does he have to take them, in your opinion, to keep his job?
Well, I'm not real sure about what he has to do to keep his job. But I think you're right. After a period of time, I think the message does get old to the players. And I think the head coach has to change some things. But a lot of that goes on to the assistants as well. I know with me, I was always the demanding, hardcore, wouldn't give an inch to the players. But I had some assistants that would counsel them. I remember one time we played the Redskins. We'd already locked up the playoffs. And, we played, we were horrible and lost the game because the players just, they weren't really into it. And so we got on the plane and, the gal on the plane started to serve the meal. And I said, no, they're not eating. They don't deserve to eat. I said, everybody.
After 10 years, you might have to need a new voice in that locker room. Because things can get old. It's some coaches that can last long and they method don't get old. It's certain coaches method that gets old. Jason Garrett, his method, it been getting stale and old. It might be a new time for them to get a head coach in there with a new voice. Because he can't get over the hump. For the past 10 years, he just ain't get to the Super Bowl yet. Like, he been in the playoffs off and on. Missed the playoffs, back in the playoffs off and on. It's just like, after a while, you're going to have to get a new voice in there. That's something so you could head to the direction you want to go. Jerry Jones want to win a championship again. But Jason Garrett just seems like he holding all his players back. Like, he's an okay coach, but I feel like he ain't getting them to the level that Jerry Jones want them at.
Down.
Nutritious for champions.
I said, they don't deserve a meal. And so the next day, Dave Wanstead came in and said, Coach, you were a little bit hard on them. You really didn't even serve them a meal. I said, Dave, when we lose, I don't care if it's a meaningless game. I want them to hurt. I want them to hurt. I don't care if they scream at me, they cuss me, they can't stand me.
Right.
I want to make a point to them that we will not accept losing. And so sometimes the assistants, they've got to take that role to change the message.
But when you were the head coach, while assistants could come to you and talk to you, the first, middle, and last word related to the Dallas Cowboys as far as the actual football team was whose? It was yours, correct?
Well, see, you got to understand, it's a different world today. When we first went to the Cowboys, Jerry borrowed $140 million. So he spent night and day trying to pay off that loan. So that was his focus, trying to pay off the loan. Now, he actually came in my office after the first Super Bowl and said, hey, I'm free and clear. I paid it off.
But the reason I ask is I just wonder how difficult of a position, whether it's Jason Garrett the rest of this year, whether he keeps the job or not, when the Cowboys, the head coach of the Cowboys is in a very unique position where he's not the biggest voice on the team.
Right.
And for certain players, particularly star players, you do wonder if they have a back door to the owner's office and if that undercuts the message of whomever the coach is.
I can't say because I'm not there. I know this. I know the players have to respect you. They have to, look at you with credibility. And if they do that, they're going to respond. And I don't know that there's a back door, to Jerry. And again, I'm not there, so I can't really say.
Let me ask you one more question about this year's team, because I don't think anyone denies the talent on it, and you watch them every week like we do.
They have all the players on this team to win a Super Bowl. It just be that time that you might have to move to a new direction, because you're not gonna get a capable team like this again. You gotta take full advantage of it right now while you have a Super Bowl type roster.
When you're watching them, what is the biggest reason that you think they have failed to have any success against the best of competition?
I was talking to Troy Aikman just a couple days ago. I don't know that this team is mentally, disciplined, tough, demanding. It's almost like, there's so much thrown to the Cowboys that, the fans adore them, they love them, It's almost an infection. They get the feeling that they're pretty good without accomplishing anything. And so when you have that type of feeling, I don't know that you're grinding it out. Hey, we got to win this thing somehow, some way. We got to win it. It's almost like they've already won, but they haven't won. But you're right. This probably is the most talented Dallas team that I've seen in a long time.
Which is why a lot of people say they're underachieving. The record they have now, but with their talent at all the skill positions, their talent on their offensive line, the defense that they have coming into every game, and they're just fighting. Nick calls it a pillow fight in the NFC East with the Eagles to try to come out of that division. Do you think Jason Garrett should be fired?
Well, Jen, I think the jury's still out because they should win against Buffalo today. I think it's going to come down to December the 16th when they play Philadelphia.
That's not going to be a cakewalk today. Buffalo's not no pushover team. They have a good defensive team that can get at the quarterback, can stop the run. They're sitting at 8-3. They should beat Buffalo. This ain't no cakewalk today. How inconsistent they been playing. They had a chance to beat New England and they ain't finished the job. New England had a good, tough defense. And they played another good, tough defense that's in the same division with New England. If they don't straighten up today, it's going to be some question in that locker room. It's going to be a question on that coaching staff. But this is a tough game today. Because Buffalo is a good team that can get the job done today.
Can win this division. If they can win the division, which if they beat Philadelphia, they should.
Yeah.
Then, as talented as this team is in the playoffs, anything can happen.
And they'd be guaranteed a home playoff game against a team that almost assuredly have a better record, but there'll be a home playoff game if they win the
Right. Jimmy, the other big question in Dallas that's looming is contract talks for Dak Prescott. Dak entered the season without one. Since then, He's quietly led the NFL in passing yards. Jerry Jones said, quote, "I'm not known as a guy that gets hand cramps when I'm writing checks." So vintage Jerry Jones. Well, he might have to write a record-breaking one in a couple of months. Do you think Dak's shown that he deserves to be the highest-paid quarterback in the NFL right now?
Well, I'm old school. I don't think any of them deserve what they're making right now.
Yeah.
But, one thing about Jerry, I've always said he's probably the smartest businessman that I've ever known. And he really works it, and he does a great job of it. He will get Dak signed. They will sign him to a contract, and he will sign a record contract because he deserves it. So it will eventually get done. I don't have any doubt about that.
So addition by subtraction, because if his deal is going to get done, we know it's going to be record breaking, but what does that do to Byron Jones? So is Dak good enough to be able to lose those type of impact players throughout his team?
Yeah, if Dak's going to be the main one.
Right.
We got to get his contract signed.
Right.
And then after Dak, then you got
to get his contract signed. That's your franchise quarterback. He deserves his contract. He's playing like a high-paid quarterback right now. He deserves his money, just like every other player that you sign. That's the first guy you need to sign, is your franchise QB.
to go, Cooper and some of the rest of them.
Right, we've seen it happen with the Ravens. We've seen it happen maybe now with Russell Wilson, but Russell Wilson proved that he can carry a team.
Right.
Can Dak Prescott carry a team? Because we've seen him come up short. Last week was his opportunity, I think, against the Patriots in a tough environment. This team was built to win that type.
That's the one thing they gonna question him about. When you had numbers of chances to win that game in New England, it was only 13-9. And when your defense hold New England to 13 points and give you an opportunity to finish it off and give y'all that win, that's the only thing you had to question Dak about. Can you come up in big moments and take care of the business? If they give you that contract, that's the type games you had to come big in. That's how you make your money. But he's going to get it because he is the quarterback of the Cowboys. But no tight moments, you gotta come up big, not short all the time. The defense handle their business, and you for to take care of the job and win that game for him. But he didn't. He came up short again.
Game. They're big in the trenches, physical offensive line, great receivers on the outside, and Dak couldn't come up with that defining play to beat, arguably the greatest quarterback of all time, but a very vulnerable quarterback.
Well, as you know, it was a team loss.
Yeah,
I think you got to take the New England game and throw it out. The weather, Belichick, special teams. They had a couple of really mess ups on special teams. So there was a lot there besides Prescott. Okay. So I don't think you look at the New England game and say, well, hey, that's a defining moment for Prescott. I think Prescott can win a Super Bowl with the surrounding cast that he's got right now.
I'm curious philosophically, because it is a different era in the NFL than it was a quarter century in a lot of different ways.
Right.
One of the reasons you guys were as dominant as you were was not just great coaching, but it was you guys had a Hall of Fame quarterback to go along with Hall of Famers all over the place. In the modern NFL, because the quarterback money, even if all the money's crazy, the quarterback money is 3x what you're paying almost any other position, right, aside from the single highest paid guys in individual spots. If you were building a team, do you think that you would be better off having a middle-of-the-road quarterback that is paid as such, or a $40 million a year guy that's not Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, a good but not MVP level quarterback that's going to cost you your right tackle, your nickel corner, and your tight end? Because that's the math we're talking about.
Nick, I think in today's football, and it has changed. I think many years ago you could win with a middle-of-the-road quarterback and a great team. I think because of the passing game and the rules the way they are today, you've got to have a great quarterback to get you over that hump to win the whole thing. And so you got to pay the quarterback. And the one thing people didn't realize, we had the youngest team in the league, when we won the 2 Super Bowls. Not only was it the youngest team in the league, it was the lowest paid team in the league. The whole key is drafting good players. You can't build it with free agency. Draft good players. That way you've got your salaries down low. But
they have him right now. He might don't jump off of everybody's radar, but Prescott, he get it done at times. Yeah, some games he come up short, but he gonna have to be paid at some point. Cause if you want to move on from him and start over, then you gotta develop that quarterback into a good player like Dak is. That y'all develop him. He's still in MVP talks right now. He leading all quarterbacks right now. He's showing you that he deserves the money. Yeah, he need to start coming up in big games, but he deserves his money.
Got to have that great quarterback.
And that brings us back to, I think, a lot of the frustration with the Cowboys this year is one thing no one can argue is they haven't drafted well. The last half decade, you look at their first-round picks. First-round pick, basically every first-round pick they've made since Mo Claiborne has turned into a Pro Bowler. They traded one away for a Pro Bowler and Amari Cooper. So you have that homegrown talent. So you have all of this homegrown talent. They didn't go out and try to splurge in free agency aside from the minor additions. And it's still like, why isn't this the year they get over the hump? That's the question I don't think anyone has the answer for, because I don't know about you, going into the year, my question about the team was about Dak. How good is Dak going to be? Dak, to me, has answered a lot of those questions this year. He's played the best football of his career, and they're still 6-5.
Yeah, I talked to Bill Belichick, just before the Dallas game, and he said he didn't expect Prescott to play as well as he has played. He said he is more accurate than he ever thought he was, and so Prescott, going into the year.